1.9 million people are locked up across prisons, jails, and detention centers in the United States right now. The majority are in state prisons, not federal. Many are serving time for things like drug or property crimes, not just violent crimes. We hear all the time that the system is broken, but this report literally shows it's not broken. It's working how it was designed to work. It's how they want it to work.
These are things that these people need in order to heal and become a better citizen for society. Not lock them up, throw them in a cage, throw away the key.
It's proof that if you treat people like humans, like offering them therapy and then offering them support instead of punishment, that you can actually see a reduction in crime. And hopping in the prison wife time machine. A full episode of us sitting here talking about each era, even the eras we haven't maybe even lived through yet, and like just giving space for conversations that maybe we wish we had or wish we knew at that time. Maybe just even speaking it out loud and letting other people hear it that, you know, might help them on their future trips. We're going 10 years forward. Where do you see yourself realistically and ideally?
Ideally, I would love to see Michael free. Realistically,
in an alternate universe, if we never became prison wives, who would we be today?
Whoa.
This is for the prison wives. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold.
So I just want to say last night was really fun. We had a, for Love Within Walls, our support group, we had a Bad Bunny tailgate party, for an hour, a little over an hour, I guess, before the concert streamed live on Prime. And I was really excited because there were some people that were going to watch it. Some people just came to hang out, which was great. We had great like conversations and, but the funny thing is I got off, I ended, cause it ended at 8:30 Eastern time to prepare for the concert. So I got off to watch it and Paige got locked out of the chat.
I did. I had to pop out of the chat at one point. I was in the chat. I was hanging out with everyone. And then I got a phone call from Josie and I had to pop out. And when I tried to come back in through the link, it was like, okay, we'll let you know when someone admits you back in. And I like messaged one of the girls that I knew was still in there. And I was like, does it say that someone is pending? And they're like, no, we're still here. I was like, damn it. I'm locked out.
She just texted me and I would have hopped on to let you.
I think they got off a little bit after that, but I was like, damn, I didn't even
think about that.
I thought it would let me back in. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't realize that because I made it to where when I left the call, I didn't have to designate a host, that it would just stay open and they could just stay and chat or whatever. But I didn't realize since I was the host, you could have just logged on from our pod count.
It's okay. We know for next time.
Okay. Yeah. Lessons learned. I just didn't realize I didn't designate anybody a host because I didn't think I would have to. So sorry. I thought once you're in, you're in. Like once I admit you in, like even if you get out and come back in, it'll just let you back in. I didn't realize. We're learning with Google. But I wanted to just say that I enjoyed the conversations last night. One of the girls asked, like, how do you handle, like, the time in between calls or in between visits or things like that? And I was just thinking, like, these are the things that we do. We hang out. We do stuff together, whether it be virtually or in person, because it's been, I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but it's been 3 weeks for me since I last saw Michael. I have my contact visit next weekend, but it's been 3 weeks since I've seen him, and that's a long time for me. I will say that. So it's hard, but I think it's important to find ways that you can spend time with others or find a hobby or, you know, go do something, even if it's by yourself, just go do something, whether you go take a walk or go out to eat or go grab a coffee by yourself, just to help with that, passing that time between calls. Because I know we said last night, like, it's not like we can call our loved ones whenever we want. I mean, we have to kind of wait by the phone, and you'll always see a prison wife phone in hand. You know what I mean? Or phone, even when we're showering, the phone is like right outside the shower. you know?
I think it's important though to know to not always do that though, because that's how you will lose your mind. Like, especially when you start to like depend on their calls at certain times and like you don't get it, like it'll ruin your whole day. So I think it's also important to like share those stories to like also like give us the reminder that like we don't need to be on our phone 24/7 or depending on their call, or we don't need to have our brain go to worst possible scenario if we don't get a phone call. You know what I mean? Like having other people like confirm for you that like they go through those situations, and that, our brains can also do the same thing on the opposite end where, you can go to best possible scenario where, maybe they're busy in their cell and he actually can't come out because he is like painting you something. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right, Paige. And we tend to freak out when we don't get the call between 5:30 and 6:30, and you start wondering and you start spiraling and things like that. And I was there. I did that because we were on such a structured schedule that any little thing threw me off. But then I started realizing the lovely world that is Angola. The power goes out at least once a week, if not several times a month. Wi-Fi's down, so they can't call, they can't use the kiosk. So, you just kind of have to, now it's like, meh, I guess the power's out. Meh, I guess the Wi-Fi's out,
That's how it is
Like-
for us too, because like their iPads, their tablets go down all the time, and it's like that's why like when I don't get a response, I'm like, yeah, GTL's probably out. It's not that I'm like he's ignoring me. I'm able to be like, okay, I know that if he had it, he would be messaging me. You know what I mean? I'm able to tell my brain to shut the hell up.
Yeah, and I guess the good thing to know is I always tell, like, kind of like what you're saying, I always tell myself, like, as soon as he's able to, I'm sure he will call me. Like, he's just as much worried about me as I am worried about him. So as soon as whatever is over and he can get access to the phone or access to a tablet, then he'll call. And usually that's the case. And he'll be like, oh my God, I just want to, the power was out. It just came back on. I'm calling you. You know what I mean? Like, that's usually how it goes. So, yeah. Well, welcome everybody. It's a very special episode. Can you stay up all night? To the daylight. 34:35. It's episode 69.
This episode.
No, I thought. Wait, are we on
I
70?
don't know. You could be right.
I was so excited.
you're
'cause I
right.
thought I can't wait.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm right. Okay. All right. So welcome to episode 69 of Love with the Malls, a prison life podcast. It's your friendly host and sensual host, Gigi here. And I'm here with the ever so lovely, gorgeous, and sexy.
Eh.
That's where you come.
I literally I can't even jokingly refer to myself like that. It's too much. But hi guys, it's Paige. I can't. Well, it's my brain. I can teach my brain to be a little bit positive, but not even to that extent. We're working on it.
Oh, we're gonna get there. Hey, I was just gonna say we're making headway. You're making headway. All right, guys, welcome, and we're here for you guys, and we got some fun stuff to talk about today. Before we start, though, we're gonna start with our sponsor. It's Beyond Bars Imaging, and guys, hello. Have you been seeing Paige's stadium pictures? Oh my God. I got one from Paige from me. It was me and Bicycle in LSU. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to try and get it inserted right here. And basically after that, you guys love that picture so much. You wanted it for yourself. So you ran straight to the right place, Beyond Bars Imaging, to get your football stadium pictures to welcome in a whole new football season, whether it's pro or college or even high school. We can make it happen, you guys, with Beyond Bars Imaging. Well, Paige can make it happen because she is amazing. And let me say this, these pictures are super realistic. I mean, we had people talking about it last night in our little tailgate party about how real it was, and like people thinking that their loved one was out when they're not really out. Like it was just a picture, like they got all excited. So hit up Paige at Beyond Bars Imaging on the Instagrams or the Facebooks. And you can check out some of her work as well. And I'm sure in the prison wife community, you will see lots of her pictures floating around.
And I just want to say, I know that Google Gemini is a thing now, y'all. So you can definitely use that. But I just want to say, if y'all want the edits with your actual faces, because the Google Gemini will manipulate your faces and it does not look like y'all, come to me. I'll take that photo and I'll Photoshop your actual face back on top of it.
Yes. And that's what makes it look so real. It doesn't look AI because our faces are on in the picture. So it looks like, and it looks flawless. I can't say how flawless it is enough. So slide on into her DMs, y'all, at Beyond Bars Imaging. All right, Paige, are we ready for some what up? For some what up with that? Yep. We ready? All right, it is time for What Up With That legislation. Paige, do you have anything?
A crazy one, a crazy sad one. I don't know, you might have, that happened over the break while we were not filming an episode. DC lowered the age to charge children as adults in their judicial system. Congress approved a bill that let DC prosecutors now charge children as young as 14 years of old for certain violent crimes like murder, sexual assault, or armed robbery. Before this, it was actually kids 15 plus in DC could be considered for any of these crimes, but it did also require a judge's approval. Now prosecutors actually just are given that direct power themselves. So we don't even need a judge. All you need to be is 14 and a prosecutor who's ready to put you behind bars for the rest of your life. Obviously critics say that it's a dangerous rollback with youth reform, obviously, and it's going to mostly impact communities that are Black and brown, because that's what it always does. This ignores all the research that has came out from all of these different sources that literally says that kids' brains are not developed until they're 25, especially when they're 14. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? At 14, you're worried about like going to the middle school or high school dance. Like, you're not worried about getting arrested and being treated like an adult in the court system. It just, what in what world and why are we doing this? Oh, that's right, because this is how we make money in the United States. We put bodies behind bars and they are dollar signs, and that's what's happening here.
Human trafficking of children now. That's basically what it is, because that's all it is. It's greed, because we need more bodies in prison and we need them in for longer amounts of time. So let's treat these children who are basically either in 8th grade or starting 9th grade as full-fledged adults who don't even understand the whole world around them.
But
we're going to treat them.
I'm a full-on menace when I was 14. I was making terrible decisions. Like, your brain is not even close to being there. You know what I mean? Especially depending on where you're growing up and who you're growing up around. A lot of these kids don't have options but to blend in and do certain things. So now you're really going to it's literally so infuriating. And this is a bill that they literally pushed through and passed overnight in DC because they knew that it was ridiculous to give prosecutors this kind of permission.
Power. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, as a middle school teacher, how impressionable this age group is. And they don't understand when they're being like when things are put on their brain, they don't understand the full gamut of what they're doing. I mean, I'm thinking when I was between the ages of 14 and 16 is when I did the most stupidest stuff, you know? And hey, I almost got arrested at 16. So, you know, doing stupid shit, doing pranks, basically. So you don't realize what the whole gamut and spectrum of your consequences are when you're that age, much less not even when 16, but 14. Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Terrible.
Sad rollback in our society for sure. And you know what pisses me off about that is the fact that there's scientific proof.
Mm-hmm.
And yet people are like, no, science, no, you can't. The thing with science is once it's been proven, it's a fact.
No, it's sorry.
Okay, that was my spicy rant.
Into the choir.
Yeah. All right, I have a sad one, unfortunately, out of Georgia. The Georgia Department of Corrections started an investigation after Shaquita Vaughn. She was an incarcerated person serving a 2-year sentence in Lee Arundel State Prison, was found dead in her single-person cell. Vaughn was discovered, get this, dead and partially decomposed inside a single, hot, poorly ventilated segregation cell on the morning of July 9th. The fact that she was decomposing suggests that she must have died much earlier.
Wow.
It's sad that...
That's a baby. That's someone's baby.
Yeah. That's someone's daughter. That's someone's sister. That's someone's somebody. And the fact that she wasn't even discovered until maybe days later, decomposed.
Are they suing? They absolutely should.
I know they're doing they just started the investigation, and this girl died on July 9th.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, because, you know, she's an incarcerated person, so she doesn't matter, basically. You know, there's no haste. Not much less to be able to have somebody pass away and not know days later that they passed away. And their body is decomposed. That's crazy to me.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I have two more.
Okay.
So every year, the Prison Policy Initiative, which is a really great resource for anyone who has someone incarcerated, definitely look them up. They do great research, and like they do a lot of visual pie graphs and stuff every year. So they do a project every year that is called the Whole Pie. So they did the Whole Pie project for 2025 with mass incarceration. And it updated the annual report, which breaks down the U.S. prison jail system with clear numbers and visuals, so everyone can fully understand what's going on. Key stats that came from this report were around 1.9 million people are locked up across prisons, jails, and detention centers in the United States right now. The majority are in state prisons, not federal. Many are serving time for things like drug or property crimes, not just violent crimes. This absolutely matters because it busts myths that the idea is that, you know, everyone in prison is violent and that mass incarceration is only a federal issue. It speaks to these states are doing it too, and they're mass doing it. And, you know, we hear all the time that the system is broken, but this report literally shows that, you know, it's not broken. It's working how it was designed to work. It's how they want it to work. You know what I mean? It's mostly marginalized communities and, you know, locking up people in massive numbers. That's what they want. This, if anything, they are probably looking at that report like, yeah, this is what it's designed to do, you know? Like, but it gives, I think, in the broader sense, it gives other people, you know, all these people that we are paying for that are sitting in prisons and jails across the United States for crazy things, you know, they aren't these violent people that they are framed out to be.
Yeah. And that kind of also goes back to that age of lowering the age to 14, because then they have them at a younger age to last them a lot longer in a longer period of time. And if you think about the bulk of the prison population, a lot of those people committed their crimes. I don't have a percentage, so bear with me. But I can pretty much say with confidence that the bulk of the prison population, whether federal or state, committed their crimes in between that area of 14 to 25. And they're banking on that. That's why they don't care about the science, because they're banking on the fact that we've got these people, we're going to have people commit crimes at this age, and we're going to give them the harshest sentence possible to keep them in for the longest amount of time.
Yep. My last one is kind of positive, so we'll end it with some happy.
Oh, wait, can I input one too? That's kind of before you do positive. Okay. At Angola, we have 2 hunger strikes happening, you guys. 2. The first one is all those New Orleans boys that got out back in May. They are doing a hunger strike. I don't know the reason for their reasoning for doing it. I'm assuming to protest the conditions in which they're living in, because now they are living on 23-1 with very limited movement. And then the people that are being housed at Angola former Camp J, our ICE detainees, are now staging a hunger strike, citing poor conditions. So it's people are fighting back, I guess, in their own way, in the way that they can, by, and then there's a whole process when people do hunger strikes in prison. The warden has to come talk to them and all kind of stuff. But I'm glad that they're standing up and saying, this is not good. Like, we're not going to stand for this. So, okay, that was my only one.
My last one is a positive story. Mental health outreach is reducing recidivism in Kansas. Kansas is actually working with Carnegie Mellon on a study. A county jail in Kansas worked with researchers to test a system that identifies people most at risk of coming back to jail. Instead of punishment, they connected with these folks to mental health outreach and resources. The results, of course, the pilots that were the first ones to try the research out, they showed very promising reductions in rearrest and rebooking rates. This is amazing, and it absolutely matters because it shows that investing in treatment and investing in support works, and it shows that people can also cycle through other cycles that aren't just prison or aren't just jail. You know what I mean? Reform works if you are given the tools that you need. And, it's proof that if you treat people like humans, like offering them therapy and then offering them support instead of punishment, that you can actually see a reduction in crime. You can actually see these changes that you want. Common sense will prevail.
Yeah. This is the stuff that we preach about, that we push for on this podcast. And people, finally saying mental health is something we need to work with. These are things that these people need in order to heal and become a better citizen for society. Not lock them up, throw them in a cage, throw away the key. That never works. It never has worked. And thank you, Kansas. I mean, shout out.
Like Carnegie Mellon of all schools is doing this and telling you this, so let's listen.
Yeah. So shout out to them for implementing something that needs to be a part of every prison system in this country. All right. Are we ready to dive into our main topic?
I think so.
All right. I'm excited. All right.
You want me to drive the time machine?
Sure. You are the conductor or the pilot, ma'am.
All right, y'all. So we're going to take a little bit of a detour this episode. We are trying to think of a little fun, different ideas to switch it up. The world is a little bit serious right now. Our lives are always serious, when you have an incarcerated loved one. So we were like, how can we, bring some fun into serious talks that also need to happen? And, we were like, what better way than hopping in the prison wife time machine? It's just, a full episode of us sitting here talking about each era, even the eras we haven't maybe even lived through yet, and like just giving space for conversations that maybe we wish we had or wish we knew at that time, or, maybe just even speaking it out loud and letting other people hear it that, might help them on their future trips, or,
Yeah.
Tickle a memory in your brain type-ish. All right, y'all. So
Yeah.
if we had a time machine, what would you tell your younger self? Like, what would you freeze in today? Like, let's do younger. Let's say maybe like middle school. Let's start there, because when you say younger self, it can go like anywhere. Like,
Mhm.
what is one thing that you wish that you could say to her in general?
In general, so not prison wife related. That how much ever I got two things, if that's okay. And I'm going to go deep because these are things that I dealt with when I was in middle school, that no matter how hard you try to look like the girls that you admire in your school or on TV, that you don't have to be that person, that you can be you, and it's okay if you're not exactly like them. And the reason I say this was because I was always, a thicker child, and I wanted so bad to be at the store 579. If you don't remember 579, it was a store that literally, it's like Mean Girls, like literally only sold sizes 5, 7, and 9. Like the most not used sizes basically ever. And I wanted to be able to shop there so bad. And I wanted to, and I went through a lot of eating disorder, things to get there. It was hard for me. And that's something I would say, like, you don't have to be size 5, 7, 9 to be beautiful. And stop putting yourself through that, because it's an utter letdown, because you'll never be that. And that's okay. That's my first one. And you're beautiful who you are, the way you are, even if it's awkward, because I was awkward back then. And my other one would be, I know you want to see the world as a beautiful thing, because as you grow up in middle school, you think the world is a beautiful place and everybody should be nice. Just know that people are going to let you down, but you're going to still be okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would tell myself if I was in middle school.
I had the same struggles with like eating. Like I was skinny and thought I was fat type-ish. Like I was like double zeros type clothing at some points, and I thought I was fat. Like I really did. And it wasn't the type of like skinny where I'd be like, I want someone to tell me I'm skinny. Like I genuinely, like it's sad. Like when I look back on it, and it's crazy because I genuinely thought that. So like I think that definitely, but the first thing that came to mind for me that I would want my younger self to know is that nobody cares about you or the things you do as much as you do. Like telling my brain that, people don't think about me as much as, I might think about myself, like over analyzing every situation the way that I do. Like you don't need to do that, because those things don't matter. And that, people are going to create their own opinions anyway. It doesn't matter if I do this, and this, like they're going to be the way that they are, because I'm such a people pleaser. And I think this one's kind of weird, but I would go back in time and tell myself, especially at that age, like middle school, that my mom, it loves me and cares about me, but just is also going through a lot of things, because she was also, her husband died, and she was trying to like be a mother and like all these things. And she didn't necessarily have all of the mental health tools at her availability and she didn't use them. And like I took a lot of, you know, how the way she acted towards myself. And I was just like, she hates me. She doesn't like me as her daughter. You know what I mean? I'd be like, you know, I would genuinely think that she didn't like me. And it was just, you know, a lot of the time, like she just, you know, especially being a mom now, like I understand being overstimulated and just needing time and just like, you know, especially going through what she went through. I can't imagine. So like I wish that I could go back in time to my little self because I think I put so much weight in that, like her not being there for me. And like I would just like I would redirect it as, oh, there's something wrong with me. Like I'm not doing things like the right way, or, you know, I'm not living up to her expectations.
Yeah, well, it's hard because at that age you do take things so
Yes.
personally, you know.
You think everything is because of you doing something, and it's like not at all. Like not at all.
That's really good
Yeah.
advice because I could have definitely used that advice too, for sure.
But if we are hopping in this time machine, we have to. I'm bringing McDonald's. I am bringing McDonald's.
As long as I can have chicken nuggets and teriyaki, sweet and sour sauce, and a crispy, a crispy McDonald's. I said crispy cock, but it's a crispy.
Oh my God, yes.
Thank you.
The whole time. So the whole time when we're watching each version, I have my Coke to at least drink. You know what I mean? I might be like spiraling, but it's fine.
Just take a sip.
Literally.
Just take a sip. Get very warm.
Yeah. So now we're going back to the past, not the past as in us 14, but the past as in prison wife past. So like pick one of your first big moments that you had with Mike and talk about it and maybe share a piece of advice that you wish that you could maybe give to your younger self in that moment now.
Wow. Well, I will say one piece of advice. One of my hardest moments, and I'll be honest, is when I started abusing substances. And it was because obviously my divorce was about to be finalized, which was a lot going through that. And then on top of that was around the same time was my first experience with Michael and the anniversary of his crime, which was January 7th, 2017. That was my first experience. And that's when I started abusing prescription pills. I would go back because I crashed out. I spiraled. I would sit on the floor of my hallway in the fetal position, laying on the floor, crying, feeling all of the feelings because I was grieving. And I was experiencing guilt, experiencing all kind of shame, being with Michael and being someone that just got divorced out of a 17-year relationship. I would tell myself that this is not, you might feel like this is a low point, but I always say this because someone told me this when I was going through my divorce, that yes, it feels like the world is ending. It feels like you just want to leave and you never want to come back to this spot. And it feels like the world is crashing down around you, but just know that you don't have to go down a dark road, that it will get better. And when you look at yourself, and that's like when I look back, I'm like, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just talk to myself and be there for myself in that moment and let them know, like, you don't have to go down this road. I know this is the easy way and it seems like it's going to take away the pain momentarily, but it's going to do more damage than, as if you just go through the feelings and let it pass, because you come out stronger in the end. And I set myself back by going down that dark road.
I feel like for me, what I would go back and like at least like coach my younger self on is like what we were kind of talking about when we opened this, is not giving so much energy to things that I have no control over and Joseph has no control over. because in the beginning of our relationship, that's honestly a majority of I gave into that. Even if like the logical part of my brain was there yapping, saying like, you know, that like if he could call you, he would, my brain would just be like, shut the hell up because you're wrong and he just doesn't want to call me right now. Like that's just what it is. So like things like when I wouldn't get a call when I was expecting it, things like back in the California system when we had to schedule video visits, y'all, we would only, this is before they had tablets, so we would only get 1 or 2 a week. But what you had to do is what we called the Hunger Games, and you had to fight and schedule them. So at 9 o'clock, every woman will go on this website and you would try to schedule a time, and the website crashes out all the time. It freezes, it logs people out, it'll like give people the same day. It'll get you to go through like 3 different confirmation pages to get your final confirmation. So like sometimes it would get you through like the 2 ones and then it would close, or it would get you through 1 and then close. And there's only a certain number of spots because they only had like 5 computers for each time slot. So there were, if you didn't get one, you weren't getting a video visit that week. And like those things really were hard, especially because it was during COVID and none of us could go see them. So it was like, if you didn't get a video visit, sorry, you're shit out of luck and you're not seeing them. And it was just like, I would sit there I would have the most anxiety before those moments of time where, we would have those Hunger Games and I would just get sick to my stomach before doing it. And it's like, girl, chill the fuck out. Like, I wish that I could be like, girl, you're going to get like a tablet soon and you're going to be able to video visit whenever you want. And, things like if you don't get a call at certain times, like everything is going to be okay. Like, truly, like, it really is conditioning of your brain and just like, especially when you have toxic pasts, because like I have a toxic past, I have an ex that's terrible, so like I do jump to those bad thoughts before I jump to the happy ones. Now I've been with Joseph long enough that our relationship is healthy, that those are lesser, the bad thoughts are lesser, but they are there sometimes. But I wish I could go back and counsel younger Paige and be like, girl, it's fine, it's good.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and for a system that's the biggest prison system in the United States, which is CDCR, you would think that they would have a better system to do that. But also, I'm also like, oh gosh, we need to warn our CDCR wives, because I'm sure they're listening and they're like, oh God, I remember those days, and they're getting triggered PTSD. Like,
if y'all know, y'all, because that shit was terrible. Yeah. And like some people's computers were just no issues, and then other people could just never do it. And then there'd be girls that I would help them because like my computer or my internet would work faster. So it just stinks, because then I would think of like the elderly people, because a lot of times they had no idea how to even work the effing website. So to race all of us, you know what I mean? Like it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, like you had to know how to navigate it, how to get in, and those were the people that got their visits, because if you didn't understand the site or how the site was working, or if it froze and you didn't know what to do, you were shit out of luck, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, wow, good advice.
There is too. So
where are we going? What's our next stop?
Our next stop is actually right effing now. We are hitting pause right now. What snapshot would you want people to see of your life right now? Your prison wife life, maybe all of your life, maybe any challenges and good things.
I wish people could hear. Well, part of me, as I'll tell y'all the funny behind this, part of me wishes that people could see my everyday life. How much, like, I'm not sitting here being a prison wife all day, every day. Like, I do have a job. I work. My job takes a lot of my time. I think my family's starting to understand how much my job takes my time this year. And also to have someone just listen to Michael and I's phone conversations. I think people don't understand our relationship and how part of me was like, I want people to hear our phone conversations because I want people to see Michael the way I see Michael, and to see what an amazing husband he is, because he's got this moniker attached to him because of one day of his life where he made a really horrible decision, not taking away what happened, but he's so much more than that one day. And I think I would like people to hear us as a couple and see us as a couple versus prison wife, inmate, or incarcerated person. Part of me also is like, I wonder if people, if they just hear me talking or hear you talking without the other person talking, they might think that we are just sitting here roasting each other to death or being ugly to each other when really we're funny. We make, we have fun. We go, we kind of, I was thinking that too when we were in Hershey, Paige, when you were probably like listening to me talk to Michael, you're probably like, wow, she is such a bitch to him.
No, you guys talk.
Okay.
You guys,
I get paranoid.
you guys talk like all lovey-dovey all the time, and like your sign-offs and stuff. Like, I think if anything, you probably thought I was a bitch when I talked to Joseph.
No, y'all are to me. That's what I think. I think y'all are lovey dovey.
Oh, see, we're goofy. We're weirdos. Yeah.
Y'all are like, yeah. But I was like, oh, y'all are cute. Like they make little noises with each other and stuff like that. So it's cute and sweet. But like, I'm usually like, bitch, what you talking about? Like, get the fuck out. Like, I'm like, that's how I talk to Mike sometimes. Like, I'm the only person that is allowed to call him a bitch, basically. Same, and not in a ugly, when we argue and we fight, we never talk like that. But this is just jovial fun, But I was just thinking, like, God, Paige is listening to my conversation right now, and she's thinking, Jesus, Gigi does not let up.
Yeah, I can't even think of any combo that you had that made me think that.
Okay.
So you're saved.
Just you get paranoid. But I would love to hear, for people to hear Michael, to be, when he's being sweet, and how, he talks to me when we're having those deep moments. Not the funny roasting moments, but like those actual deep moments. And what an understanding and amazing person he is. Because I see him and I see a beautiful person. I see somebody that I've waited my whole life for. But people don't see that because all they see is death row.
Yeah. I mean, that's relatable. I mean, Joseph isn't on death row, but he did take 2 people's lives. And that's something, no matter how much he regrets and hates that decision, no amount of regret or anything can take it back, unfortunately. So it's like all you can do is move forward. So I feel like I would echo what you said. I wish that people could see Joseph in the eyes that I do. I feel like whenever I give people like glimpse of him or the way he speaks or talks, like even when I send my friends some screenshots of the things and the ways he talks to me, they're just like, oh my God, like he's just the sweetest person ever. Like, I'm like, I know. He just is this sweet soul. And that's why I think, I do everything I can to communicate that to the world when I show like the paintings and stuff he does for me, or like when he makes me Valentine's Day stuff. I'm like, I it's not me trying to be like, oh, look what he's doing for me, but I'm like, this is like, I'm just trying to show the humanity there, like that there is a person behind the bars. It's not just this person who, did something terrible years ago. This is what he has done since that moment. And this is what he plans to do moving forward to help make not only his life better, but everyone else around him. And I think ruining that stereotype of, everyone in prison is doing nothing is like one of the best ways that we can do that. Because, I mean, when I tell people about Joseph, they really can't even believe how busy his schedule is. He wakes up, he goes, you know what I mean? He wakes up, he goes to work, he's at work all day, he comes back, he has school work that he has to do. He is busy, he is doing things, he is trying, he's actively programming, he's in multiple programs. Like he is doing all of these things, and I want, the world to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to say this, me being one of those people that get to see Joe's text to Paige, I can absolutely say what he reminds me of Mike, because he looks at a situation, the whole thing, and he's so understanding and he's so empathetic and he is so good with validating how you're feeling and walking you through like, well, maybe and giving you strategies and trying to figure out a way to solve a problem. Like he is just so gentle and so caring. And I see that counselor side of Joe come out in those messages. And it's just so beautiful. It shows you the transformation of him as a person and what an amazing person he is. So I can vouch for that. I can say I concur when she says, when I send my messages to my friends, like, I've seen the way Joe responds to Paige, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Even when I'm
like, that's one word I can say to encapsulate.
even when I don't maybe deserve the response, because like I can be very rash sometimes and impromptu, like I can just jump to like very responding like out of emotion sometimes with him more so than anyone else, because he is like my safe space. So it's like similar to like how I might lash out at my mom. It's because I'm more comfortable with her. So like he might get it more than other people, but he's so good at handling me and not giving it back, and props to him.
Yeah, he really is an amazing soul.
If we were to go now to the future, we're hopping out. We're going to the scary future. We're going 10 years forward.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself realistically and ideally?
Okay. Ideally, I would love to see Michael in 10 years free, me bringing him home, and us making a life together, whether it be here where I live now or somewhere else. But obviously, I think we would have to start here. I would love to be able to have that. Ideally, I would love for him to get something good in his case happen to where he's eligible to come home. Realistically, in 10 years, I would like to see Michael with not on death row, but with a life without parole sentence. Because that's realistic in terms of Louisiana. And I had this conversation with a Waller yesterday. Like, she was like, I hope he gets to come home. And I'm like, me too. I would love that. But realistically, I live in a state that's probably the worst state in the world when it comes to incarceration and overturning cases and getting people free when they're, deserve freedom, or given a second chance. Let's just say that. We don't believe in that here. So unfortunately, I don't see that happening for me, and that's okay. I've accepted it.
With this leadership,
accept my fate.
Maybe like think about this. Maybe in like a crazy turn of events, like y'all band together and say fuck it, and you elect a Democrat. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we had one, and he tried to get them all off death row, but that didn't work out. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Louisiana when it comes to incarceration, even though we have the numbers of families that could go out and protest and make movement. Nobody wants to rock the boat. And I hope and pray that one day somebody comes along and says, yes, let's rock the boat. Let's change the way we're doing stuff because it ain't working. But realistically, that's my goal for Michael, at least to have him live a full life and not have his life terminated shortly. And also, God, I would just love to get rid of the death row moniker on our relationship, because, in Louisiana, everybody has a life sentence. Everybody, 85% of the incarcerated population has a life sentence. So that's nothing. But when you say death row, everybody just stops.
Mm-hmm.
Death row? Oh. Well, I would just love to get rid of that. Yeah.
I feel like mine is kind of similar. Maybe. Ideally, Joseph would have been incarcerated for 25 years at that point. So ideally, I feel like that would be realistically the first point where he would be able to apply for parole and maybe have a decent chance. In a ideal world, I mean, realistically, I think that maybe would be the first time he'd be able to apply. And ideally, he's coming out, and if I have to go to him, I will, but it'd be cool if he could come to Pennsylvania. Whatever we would have to do to make it work. If he is getting out of prison, I would, do what I needed to do to make that happen. But he wants to move here, so we'll see if that ever becomes a problem we have to hash out. Realistically, I I mean, I think there's a part of my brain that realistically thinks that that could happen because we are in California. Um, but I also think there's realistically a part of my brain that has to stay grounded to be like, okay, you also need to be very aware that that very much could not happen. And like, you need to be ready for that too. So like, I guess if he is still incarcerated, I would hope that he is by then moved down to a level 2 yard. Maybe they've reorganized things so that LWAP can be on level 1 yards, because right now they can't. And honestly, it's just kind of ridiculous because a lot of them have very low points.
Wow.
Maybe like things change where, they're given more leniency, or he's able to have some kind of more job, or he's able to give back more, just anything that would, he has his bachelor's, maybe he gets his master's. I don't know what he wants to do. Just, I don't know. I think that the one thing that I wrote down and I wanted us to touch on is if our husband was still inside, what ways would we cope and what would growth look like for us?
Ooh, for us. If they were still in the same place, or if Michael was still on death row, I would be scared. But I also think we would obviously be still fighting or trying to do something to help him with his case. And I hope that, in the future they would give them more opportunities to have jobs, or, treat them more like trustees, because some of them, I mean, at that point, Michael would have been there 36 years, going on 37. He's not a flight risk. He hasn't had a write-up at that point in 3 decades. So, I would like to see them have more, like give them more things to do, more work, more purpose, because right now they treat them like they're monsters of the earth. I would like to obviously be able to handle, at that point, I would hope I could handle the courts and the appeal process and be able to handle those things better, because right now I don't think I could handle them at all. So I'm hoping that I could learn to grow and be able to handle those things.
That's something that we've never had to really be a part of, because at least I met Joseph after, when he was already sentenced and everything. But as we've talked about before, if he was to ever go to the parole board or anything happened, it would definitely be a thing made out of it.
Yeah.
With the media, of course. In an alternate universe, if we never became prison wives, who would we be today?
Whoa. Oh, I got a few. I got 2. I would either be single, living somewhere, doing my own thing, being my own independent woman, or if I would have married, it would have just been for comfort, financial comfort. So I would have probably been, I call it a by-Tom's wife, where it's called a big, important Texas oil man's wife, where I could just maybe go to work for a little bit, then rely on my husband to buy me Lululemon all the time and be a lady who lunches. But I wouldn't be married for love. I would be more married for partnership and financial comfort. I'll be your cute little wife, and you can just pay for me. Thank you.
I love that.
Because this life is hard.
Yeah, I think in an alternate reality, I have a husband that is taking care of me, but also leaving me alone. Don't come near me, you know what I mean, but also pay for all my things. Thank you so much. I don't really know what I would do, because I would still have Brody, and I think I mean, before I met Joseph, I had no interest in dating. I didn't want to do that again after being with my son's father on and off for as long as I had. I genuinely had no interest in really opening up or doing that again. I think I probably would have eventually, but I have no idea what it would have looked like. I could easily see myself being alone too. Like you said, I don't know. I don't have a problem being alone. I've developed a lot being able to be on my own since this journey. So like I think that I would have even been able to figure out that I kind of liked it, you know, and I
Yeah.
didn't need anyone. Would you?
That's where I am. I'm like, sometimes it's just like after being married for so long, after being in relationships for so long, you're just like, now I just want to be on my own. Like, and you grow. You do have to grow up. You have to grow up a lot if you're on your own. I will say that. But it's so nice to not have to worry about a guy answering somebody, giving them, like doing stuff for another person. Like, it's actually kind of nice to just do stuff for you and your friends and do what you want to do and make the decisions you want to make, So,
Totally.
yeah.
Do you think that you would still be podcasting and advocating, or would you be living a normal life? I think, knowing me, I would have eventually advocated for something else because I have a loud ass mouth and I don't know how to keep it shut. And I have this very strong rage and need for justice and like empathy in my brain, and when I don't see it, I have to like do something. So I would have eventually gotten involved in something somehow, honestly.
I think I would have too, because obviously I wanted to get involved after seeing things in documentaries and things like that. I think I would have too. I just don't think I would have gone as deep as I would have. I don't think I would have been doing a podcast. I think I would be maybe supporting nonprofits, supporting legislation. I don't think I would have I may have written to somebody, but I don't I don't know. It's hard because I was on this journey before, I knew anything about the prison world. And I never even really thought about the prison world until I was seeing these documentaries. So would I still be thinking about the prison world? I honestly don't know. Because this has changed my whole perspective on things completely. Things I never knew, I now know. Because I was so sitting up here looking down and not worrying about them, but focusing on where I was, And now I see what people have to struggle with and what people have to deal with,
Daily.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of our time machine.
Ooh, it's now time to disembark the time machine.
Thank you for traveling with us.
Traveling on Paige's future time machine travel company.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The exits are here, anywhere. All right. Well, I guess that means it's time for us to get a special little call from a special someone, our favorite prison scammer.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Frederick,
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
Ooh, it's Florida Fred time, which means it is time for your questions and comments. We did have 2 and a speaky pipe, so I'm very excited. Just so you guys know who Florida Fred is our favorite stereotypical prisoner that everybody likes to say uses women, because he does have a little harem of women, us, Paige and I included. Saying, he's really good at schmoozing, getting his Keefy coffee and keeping money on his books, and having lots of multiple women visit him over several weekends. So, but he's very careful to schedule those out.
That's not true.
All right, Paige, do you have a question for us from?
We have Gigi posted on our story a clip of when Gigi and I were together in person, so I think someone might have gotten a little bit confused and just said, happy to see you guys together, no question. I just wanted to send love and support. So you are so sweet and cute for thinking that. So thank you for sending love and support, and I wish that we were together.
Yes, we always have fun when we're together, always, even if we're just like chilling. Someone asked, how do I get on your show? I guess they also thought we were together and that we were live and they were trying to get on our show, but I wanted to do something different. So I posted the video and I was like, send us questions or comments. But with that, Freedom Behind Prison Walls, who asked that question, can I tell them what we were talking about? Okay, well, because I'm excited. All right, guys, you guys loved our summer storytelling series. Well, in the next week, please be on the lookout because we are looking for a few more of y'all to tell your story and also share some of your coping strategies for the holidays. And we're going to be opening up a holiday storytelling series in December. So we're going to put together a little interest form, and that should be coming out this week. So be on the lookout for that. So if you are interested in being on a Prison Wife podcast for the holidays, and sharing obviously a little bit about how you deal with the holidays, we'd like to know, how you, maybe some advice that you can help people that this might be their first holidays alone. We would love to hear you and have you on the podcast. So be on the lookout for that form. So that's something coming out, for those of you that are interested in being on the Potty Pod Pod. I also had something from Isis, and she sent something, one of our wallers who is amazing. She said, she is glad to see us together during hard times and we're getting through things, obviously right now. She said, keep in mind, hate is never an option. Freedom is for everyone. If it's not, it's called privilege. Thank you so much for being our voices. Much love, Isis. So thank you, honeys, for that sweet comment. We appreciate you. All right. And last but certainly never least, we do have a speaky pipe. So I'm going to play that now.
Hey, Gigi and Paige. It's your boy, Fred. I want to give a shout real quick because I go to my shout too because you give yours. And I'm part of you because we together. We do this together, man. We do this together. My winner of all my memes, she got me locked in the hole. I know. But she said me, Gwita, I know, I pray hard, and Gwita is no. So I got locked in the hole. But if you have Gwita, is that okay? Cause I still love her. Her name is Sharon. Sharon for Chicago. I love her. She my heart so much. Like Gigi's lips and Haitian heart. You know. I know. Okay. So I got out of the hole and now I gotta be good for at least a little while before I get my neck tattoo. Cause I has to be good. There's no more hope. There's no more hope. I better go to Alcatraz and go back to hole. No, the hole was so hard. I love you. Do your work. Do your pictures. Do your nails. Do all your things. I love you. My bitches.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack, Florida Fred. First of all, Florida Fred just started getting a Cajun accent and can't say his R's now.
I couldn't understand some of it.
I
was like, what?
That's why I was laughing.
Is happening in the middle part. I was like, I'm gonna have to get the recap.
Apparently, Shreveport Sharon is his other lady out of Shreveport. And she sent a card in with glitter, and it got him in the hole.
Why would sis do that?
That's what he's like. Do I still love her? What do I do? Like, so I guess we need to have a conversation with his other woman, Shreveport Sharon, because he obviously wants to make this work, but you can't be sending him cards with glitter, baby girl, because that is going to cause a problem. I didn't realize you can go to the hole for that. I thought maybe he went to the hole because, she sent some spicy pics or something.
Maybe he left that part out.
Yeah. Maybe it was more than just the glitter, Florida Fred. I think she sent some naughty pictures because we all know you love some spicy shit. So it's probably that got you in the hole. And nobody deserves to go to the hole for some TNA. You know what I mean? We're with you. Free Florida Fred.
Free him.
Spotify, please come back with that Cajun accent because I understood every word that you said. Unfortunately, I don't know if everybody else will. 'Cause it almost sounded like you were from the Waterboy movie. Anyway. Well, thank you, Florida Fred, for that call. And guys, just so you know, you can call anytime. You can be anonymous or not on our phone, on our speaky pipes. So please send us a speaky pipe. You can call with questions, comments, advice, anything. We're here to listen. Funny stories, whatever you got, bring it. All right. Well, that's all I have, Paige. Is there anything else you
That's all
have?
I got.
All right. Well, be on the lookout, friends, for our holiday storytelling series forum coming out this week. And give us a call or leave us a comment. Do you have an emoji? You want to do an emoji? If you're here.
The sparkle emoji.
Sparkle. All right. Drop a sparkle, friends. We love you guys so much. And we hope you guys have a wonderful hump day, a great week, and a great weekend.
Bye, friends. Love you.
Besitos. Bye, guys.
This is for the ones who love through the distance, for the ones who stay solid while time keeps ticking, for the ones who hold it down but never lose themselves. This is for the prison wives. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. They don't see the late nights, letters on the table, fighting through the system, just trying to stay stable. They don't see the count days, they don't feel the time crawl. They just see the sentence, but they don't see the love at all. Yeah, I made the vow and I stand 10 toes. Still got my life, still got my goals. I hold it down cause I choose to stay. This love got walls, but it don't got shade. Don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. I'm a prison wife, but I'm still my own. Made my own moves, still stand on my throne. They think I'm just sitting here wasting my days. Nah, baby, I've been building while he counting the days. I ride for my love, I ride for my king, but I ain't no fool, I handle my biz. I ain't weak, I ain't lost, I ain't throwing my worth. I hold it down cause I know what it's worth. Through the letters, through the calls, through the gates, through it all. Love don't break, love don't fade. I'm still here, I'm still brave. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head.
Don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change.
Still don't break,